Welcome to the Guitarist Toolkit. My name is Chris Amandeo, and today we're going to be looking at position 2 of the pentatonic scale. So the last lesson we looked at the first position of the A minor pentatonic scale. Now we're going to look at the second position, which starts on the note C. Before we get into the lesson, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I also want to mention I have interactive notation and downloadable PDFs for all the lessons on the channel, including the lessons in this course. So check out the link below to get access to my new platform, the Guitar Hub. There's a 3-day free trial so you can see if it's a good fit for you. Of course, if you're looking for more personalized instruction, you can always book a lesson right on my website or reach out to me directly. With that being said, let's get right into it. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at position 2 of the pentatonic scale for A minor. So this is actually going to start on the 8th fret, the note C. So a lot of people think of this as the major pentatonic scale, and it is when you base it off of the E string, right? If you build it off of this 8th fret here, we're really playing a C major pentatonic scale. And that is because A minor and C major are one and the same, right? If you look at your circle of fifths, for example, the A minor scale and the C major scale share the exact same notes, no sharps or flats. So let's run through that scale and talk about what the notes are, right? We'll name them as we go. This is a good way to learn the notes. Good practice in general. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 3, 4, D, good, E, G, so let's go through the notes in this scale so you can get a better idea of what you're playing. So we're starting here, 8th fret on the low E string, 6th string. Note C, 10th fret D, good, 7th fret E, good, 10th fret G, good, 7th fret A, and back up to our root again. So let's play through the first octave together. I'll use quarter notes for this to speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. C, D, E, G, A, C. Right? C, D, E, G, A, C. So when you break that down, you do have a major triad that exists right inside of there. C, E, G, right? And right inside of that major pentatonic. And these are things that you definitely want to look out for. So now let's play through the rest of the scale. We have our 10th fret on the D string, that's our starting note. Then 7th fret on the G. 9th fret. 8th fret on the B. 10th fret on the B, 8th fret on the high E. Now the scale can also extend up to the 10th fret on the high E string as well, which is a D note, right? But it makes the most sense to finish on that 8th fret. That way it sounds like C major, there's some resolution. So let's play through the whole scale together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one thing I want to show you is a little position shift here in the scale between the G and B string. So there are two different ways to play the scale fingering wise. We can do on the G string, if we start on the G string, 7th fret on the G, using pinky and the middle finger, which are weak points when playing, so it is important to build that up. With a phrase like that, but a lot of people actually use a shift of the hand, so it is a lot easier. We already kind of have the dexterity, most of you that have already been playing some more basic stuff, with the 1st and 3rd finger. I think in general we use those fingers a lot more, right? So it is a little bit easier to do that. Now I do want to mention, these are the same notes as A minor. And this whole time we've really sounded like C major, but we can start targeting the notes of A minor as well. So let's find the A note here, which would be the 7th fret on the D string. Now, if we play the pentatonic from A to A in this position, it looks like this. Right? And that is just an octave of your scale here. Those are the exact same notes. We're just moving it up an octave. So let's play both octaves together of the A minor pentatonic scale in 2 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we just play the A minor scale moving in both positions. So there are both tonalities that exist within all of these positions, and as we move through them, you'll really see how that works a little bit better. So inside of this scale, the most common place you're going to play is really on the top 3 strings here, inside of this box here. There's a lot of different melodic phrases in there, and we're going to talk about a few today. So I'm going to show you 2 very simple ideas inside of the position 2 scale to really target the tonality of C major. So this will help you work on some basic hammer-ons as well. Now I'm going to bar my first finger. You don't have to, but I'm going to do it to make it a little bit easier in this case. I'm going to bar my first finger on the 8th fret of the first 2 strings, which is also done when we play our C major bar chord, right? So all I'm going to do is take my ring finger and hammer it on to that 10th fret of the B string while holding my bar. So it's going to look like this. That's a very common lick that you'll find used over these major chords. Very cliche line, but it's a really good one to have in your vocabulary. So the next is just a play on that. We're going to do a pull off instead of a hammer on. So we're starting with the root note, the C on the 8th fret. We're going to pull that ring finger off from 10 to 8 on the B string. Very common phrases that are really essential to have in your toolkit because you can always fall back on that. Now, the final thing we're going to do today is talk about 2 simple ways to connect position 1 and 2. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our root C, 5th fret on the G string. We're going to move to 7, sliding into 9. So again, that's basically that outline of the major pentatonic scale that you heard with my girl, right? And there's different ways to play this as well. You'll see a lot of people use their 1st and 2nd finger from the slide going into the 7th fret, but essentially you're just connecting position 1 and 2. The next lick is going to just descend from position 2 into 1 using the same root. So we're starting on the 10th fret, the A note, right? Going back to our C. Again. You want to make sure that slide is in control, by the way, not like this. You really want to make sure So that's it for this lesson covering position 2. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about position 3 and kind of go over the same ideas, some ways to connect 2 and 3, and also some melodic ideas that are common in position 3. Hope this video was helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and check out the Guitar Hub if you want to learn more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.